Hello guys, OverBidden here. In this video, I will talk about my experience of hitting Diamond 5 0 LP in Season 7 League of Legends. Okay, I will be talking about this climb, how I feel about this game. I will show you some graphs and stats. I will analyze those information. So let's get started. I didn't play this game at all after the summer of 2016. I picked it up only on May 24th. So I took a long break from the game. However, I started playing the game back in Season 1. I had about over 6,000 hours on the game, and I was Platinum in S3, Diamond in S4, 5, and 6, and I finally hit Diamond in Season 7 as well. So I started playing on May 24th. I played pretty intensely for about a week. Then my summer school started, so I stopped playing for about a month. Later, I pick up the game. I play pretty intensively, especially for the last 2-3 weeks. Climbed pretty fast, got stuck at high platinum for a little bit, but I was finally able to hit a diamond yesterday, which is July 13th. And Kasdan is my most played champion, which I will show a little bit later. But here's a pretty interesting graph that I want to show, that the yellow area, the blue area represents my champion's performance, and the gray area represents the average players that play this specific champion in this specific tier. In this case, my win rate is so much higher than the bronze tier's players. I have better KDA. I take less damage, and I do more magic damage, and then my gold generate is better, and then I take more. I farm more minions. Okay, so that's for bronze. Silver. If you look at a graph or read the chart right here, I still perform better, right? But you can see the gray area is expanding, right? And the damage taken, except for the damage taken part, is like shrinking as the tier goes up. Okay. Yep. But I still do a little better than all the players right here, right? And hopefully I do better than the platinum players, considering that I just climb out of platinum. Yes, I still do better, right? Still farm better, generate more gold, all that. Okay. And then go to the diamond players. What really surprises me is that I do better comparing to the average diamond Kasdan players as well. Okay, which shouldn't be the case because I'm only diamond 5, but it is the case. Okay, not only that, if we go to masters as well, I still do better, right? Damage taken, right? I take less damage. Minions, well, I farm a little bit less now, but I generate more gold. And physical damage, we don't care about physical damage. Well, they do a little bit more physical damage, but Kasdan. And then I do more magic damage, and my KDA is better, my win rate is better. So maybe if I keep playing this season, I can potentially climb to masters, or at least a little bit higher than diamond 5. I'm not sure, but considering that the upward trend of my climb, I think it's likely. I haven't decided yet. Okay, right. What I'm really happy about this climb is that back then, before I was main top laners and jungles, right? Irelia, Trundle, Shen, Nocturne, Malphite, they are top laners, right? Some jungle. If I go to the champions, all my top champions are like top laners and junglers. My very first diamond, I was playing Pantheon jungle as well. Okay, and then in season 3, I was playing Ari and Zad. I hit platinum 1. I wasn't able to hit diamond back then. I always want to play mid lane in order to hit diamond, and I finally was able to do that by playing my Kasdan with a really high KDA and a decent win rate, right? By 4.96 It's the highest KDA that I've ever gotten by playing a champion and then use that champion to get to diamond. Okay, so I'm really happy about that. So if I calculated the overall time that I play for about 20 days intensely, for about 10 hours per day, which is about 200 hours. And that also matches the amount of games that I play, which is a little bit less than 400 games. Okay, so 200 hours. And I went ahead and did a little calculation for how much money that I made for myself if I choose to pay the boosters. Right? It's fun to do. Right? I went to 3 different boosting websites. Right, from Gold 5 to Diamond 5. This website asks for $450. Right, this website asks for a little bit less, 336. This one asks for about $500. Right, so I did the math here. So it cost about $420 to buy the boosting service. Right, divided by 20 and then another time, 20 days. 10 hours per day. So per hour, I gain about $2.1, which is really cheap and it's illegal. So I definitely won't be doing it if it's not for the fun of it. Right? And then also 200 hours, it's a lot of time. I may be spending the time on something else more meaningful next summer. However, it becomes one of my habits to play and climb the league every summer. Now I want to talk about what makes a game that is really enjoyable for me to play. A little bit of background information. I am a single child. Okay, when I was young, I was kind of forced by my parents to study piano, Chinese paintings, all that. Okay, now I'm thankful for them, but back then I was forced to do those, and I didn't really spend any time to play with my peers. Okay, most of the time I was staying home, study things by myself. Okay, so that becomes part of me. Okay, I enjoy doing things that is really hard, and once I achieve those things, I show it off. Okay, just like what I'm doing right now. I do know a lot of friends that they like to play games with friends. Okay, together. For me, the most enjoying aspect of the game is to be competitive and to achieve a really, really good result. Okay, and that's actually the biggest reasons that I always come back to League. Okay, in terms of the gameplay, the League of Legends is definitely not the best game. Okay, there are so many games, even competitive mobile games out there that are better than League of Legends. I think Smite, Dota, right? You can make the argument that those games are better. The reason that I think League of Legends is the best game, or has his advantage to play, is that it is the most played game in the world, right? And it has a pretty mature esports scene, which provides a huge player base and also makes the game really competitive, right? And there are millions of people that are playing this game, and if you can manage to achieve at a pretty high level, right? Diamond, maybe for some people is nothing, but like you can achieve like 1.7, 2% at the top of the total population. You can feel pretty good about yourself, right? You feel like you have achieved something. Okay, that's the reason that I come back. Okay, so in a competitive game, you want to be rewarded if you are more skillful than your opponent, right? In a ideal situation, if let's say you play mid lane, top lane, whatever role you play, right? Jungles, even support, right? If you play overall better than your opponent, right? I'm talking about overall. I'm not only talking about the laning phase. So that overall, that means team fighting, shot calling, warding, right? Engaging, disengaging, like map movement, all that, right? If your overall performance is better than your pro opponent, you should be rewarded by a win, right? And is this the case in League of Legends? No, far, far, far away from the truth, right? All the way up to Challenger, there's so many games that you can crush your lane opponent. You can do just so much better, okay? You just cannot win, right? And not only that, Riot is taking away the tools that allow skillful players to carry the game. Okay, let me give you a extreme example. Okay, I don't know if you know Rush, the player that came from Korea, that played in the NALCS. He's the jungler that he played for. The last team that he played for was C9, and he was rewarded a seasonal MVP as well. Okay, back then he was able to reach Korean rank 1, rank 2 easily, right? Like the most competitive region in the world, right? He could start a account on rank and climb all the way to Challenger, right? Top 5, top 10 easily. And how was he able to do that? He was able to play specifically like 2 or 3 mechanically demanding champions, right? Especially his Nidalee, and then his Lee Sin and Kha'Zix, all that, right? And right now, he is not even able to hit Challenger in Korean anymore. Is he regressing? Is he like becoming worse? Not necessarily, right? What happened was his Nidalee got nerfed, right? Junglers, early jungler got nerfed. Nidalee used to have 10, 20 animation cancels, right? And I used to slow down his stream and YouTube videos, right, to like 25%. I watch those videos slowly in order to study his animation cancels, right? I maybe got about 67% of his animation cancels, and I was able to, by playing Nidalee, and I was able to hit high Platinum 1, right? Not high Platinum 1, high Platinum rather, back then, okay? And then Riot just watered down that champion, right? Totally butchered that champion. So he wasn't able to carry anymore. That's just one example in the jungle. Let me give you another example in the jungle, right? Devolver. Do you remember, like, used to be the case that Xin Zhao, especially Master Yi, right? They can just farm in the jungle and they can just get those stats, right? Is it called Devolver? And they just carry the game, carry the late game, right? Not anymore. Let me give you another example of how Riot makes the game easier to appear the masses in order to make more money, rather than making the game difficult and then reward skillful players. Okay? A question to ask if you are a new player. Okay? What's the respawn timer of red buffs, blue buffs, dragon, and baron? Okay? The red buffs and blue buffs spawns every 5 minutes. Okay, dragon is 6 minutes, baron is 7 minutes, and this information used to not be shown when you press tab, and when you take dragon, it used to not be the case, and also baron, that the announcers is gonna announce that, oh, baron is being taken, dragon is being taken. Okay, back then that's why I was able to play Pantheon jungle, and I memorize or write down all the jungle timers. Okay, I invade the enemy blue buff, red buff, I write down the timers, right? I sneak a dragon, I do a baron, I write down the timers, I call for my team for the help. Okay, that's a skill, right? Back then I was pretty bad mechanically, but I was able to climb. Okay, what Riot did was to took away this aspect of the game. Okay, so the game got watered down. All right, mid laners, they were the DFG, right? Riot took away of that, right? So people won't be able to carry harder as a mid laner, right? This is just some very basic examples, right? If you look at the patch notes from Riot, right? Every patch notes, Riot is gonna nerf some champions, right? And these champions are hitting too hard, right? These champions are too powerful. Let's turn the numbers down a little bit. Why do you turn the numbers down a little bit? Why don't you just buff up the weaker champions? Okay? They make everybody like mediocre. Okay? So they are putting more focus on the teamwork aspect of the game, which is good for their esports scene, but I'm talking about solo queue, right? Which we can only play with maximum one more player. Okay, so if you are taking away the single person's ability to carry the game, it's just gonna be harder to carry, even you are good. Okay. One of the biggest changes that Riot is gonna make for the new season is that they're gonna take away the room pages, right? A lot of people really like this idea. The room pages and the ruins do put a huge burden on the new players, right? They're too expensive. However, ruins do serve a really important purpose in the game right now. Okay, if you think the price of the room and room pages are a burden, what about reducing the prices? And what about making them free, right? What room pages serves is that it really reward the players that put the time into researching and putting up the correct room pages for certain matchups, right? It gives those players an edge in the game. Okay, for example, my custom, right? I have the general custom AP versus AP page, which I will use to fight against the AP champions, right? I also have the custom AP page, which does not have the MR, but scales up a little bit harder into AP in the weaker AP matchups or AD matchups. And I also have a page that I use to fight against some really hard AD matchups, right? Pantheon, Zed, sometimes Talon, right? I have all these pages because I did the research and I also had my personal experience, right? So I was able to tweak my personal room pages. Okay, and having this system in place, right, you are rewarding the players that are dedicated into the game. Okay, taking away this, it's a attempt to water down the game and to make the game easier and to appeal to the masses, right, which is a direction that I do not want to see the game going, but I'm seeing it again and again. In summary, I really enjoy the competitiveness of the game. However, being in a solo queue environment, the solo queue players already relying too much on the performance of teammates, which they can do nothing about, and Riot is also consistently taking away single players' ability to carry the game. And I really wish Riot can take a different approach, but based on their past actions, I highly doubt this is going to be the case. And this is the only reason that prevents me from playing this game all the time. Riot just don't reward dedicated and skillful players enough to win the game. And what I do feel thankful though is that Riot for providing a free platform for me to play the game, and which I do enjoy from time to time. Okay, so that thumbs up my video. Okay, it's pretty long. I'm not sure if you can watch all the way until the end. If you do, I really appreciate it. And nowadays I don't upload videos regularly, but if I do, I try to make the best video that I can. So if you can give me a like, if you like the video, that would be really helpful and an encouragement for me to make more videos in the future. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.